Good Morning Football NFL Network. You've been there a long time, always working on other stuff as well, and you join us today to help promote your show on Vice. It's on Vice Sports called NFL Classic After Further Review. Omaha Productions. I know a lot of producers there as well. They do a great job. Sam Pepper, Matt Flynn.
Yeah.
You guys re-examine the NFL's most unforgettable games through the eyes of the players who lived it and the diehard celebrity fans who can't forget it. Tune in tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern, Vice TV. Bart Scott, Method Man, and Kyle Brandt as they relive the Jets' 2010 playoff win over the Patriots, the Can't Wait game. That's a fun game for you. Kyle, thanks for coming in. How are you?
Before we relive the Can't Wait game, can we relive what's going on in your backyard? Reptiles, rodents, pests. What is the deal, Sal? What kind of zoo are you living in, bro? What is up?
Jersey. I don't got that Westchester money. I had to move to Jersey. Yeah, dude, I'm scared of those things. So it's funny because I'm fascinated by you, and I have been for a long time.
Thank you.
Because I am a real-world watcher.
Oh, let's go.
Not current, but back then.
Of course.
Like back in the day. I forget all the names of the cast, but the blonde that you used to date on there?
I don't remember dating anybody on the show.
You didn't date I thought that...
No.
Really?
No.
Come on, dude.
Listen,
or maybe the blonde that I wanted to date that you were close
it's
with.
It's very possible. I was basically in a coma for most of that show, so my memory of it's really
hazy.
hazy.
Who's the girl that I'm talking about?
There was the... I don't want to use the word crazy. Tanya was the one that was the most infamous.
Not her.
There was Carrie and Anissa. Anissa.
No, not Anissa. I remember her.
See, I think you're confusing me for some other blonde-haired cracker who was on Real World. There's a lot of us.
I remember Chicago Real. Anyway, so I was a fan of yours forever, and then you were, starting with that show.
Yeah.
Then you produced radio, which I was doing, like for Mike and the Mad Dog. You were doing that for Jim Rome.
Yeah, for
Then
years.
you became famous doing the NFL, Good Morning Football, and now all this digital stuff. So, like, I followed your career from afar. We have a lot of mutual friends, but never. We used to dress in the same dressing room.
Yeah, that's why.
At Full World Trade, but never had met before. So I'm glad that you come in, and we're the same age. A lot of our same passion with the football and all those different things. Man. So I'm excited for it. Dude, I got to look up that girl. You didn't have any girlfriend on your Real World show?
No. I seriously didn't. No. Listen, our Real World show is most renowned. It's a terrible thing. I mean, it was the 9/11 season. Like, we were right in the middle of that experience in 2001 when that happened.
Right.
And it was nuts. That's what it's remembered for. It was almost 25 years ago.
Did you do that audition while you were producing for Rome? Or this
No. That, when I was a senior in college, they came to campus and did an open call. And I just went to an open call, stood in line with like 5,000 people, and they casted me. It just happened to be in my hometown of Chicago, but I auditioned in Princeton, New Jersey, like in 2001.
Okay, so and then you went to Princeton, played obviously football there. I did Columbia broadcast after that.
Did you really?
I mean, Jerry Recco and I used to call the Columbia football games, so I'm very familiar with doing games in Princeton. But this was
awesome.
This was from 2010.
Oh yeah, you would have missed me. We were there. Yeah. But I mean, listen, I remember going uptown here in New York and playing on the razor sharp AstroTurf of the Columbia Lions. Like, if you got tackled one time, all of your skin was just left on the field. They don't make it. It's not that field turf, Sal, or that natural grass. It was basically sandpaper, and that was the best offense that Columbia had, as I remember, was their turf.
Dude, they were brutal. I mean, I maybe saw 1 or 2 wins in my 10 years doing.
I hear you, man.
All right, so give us the Can't Wait before we get into the NFL Network and all those different things and Good Morning Football. Give us this. I love this idea. It's an idea that I think fans like you and I would come up with. You executed it about watching these old games. Take us through how it came about and then what you've been doing so far.
You know what it's like, Sal? At this point in my life, you said we're the same age. If it's a Saturday night and let's say my wife and kids have gone to sleep, one of the things I just love to do is sit on the couch and just watch old concerts. I just will pull up like Pearl Jam, 1999. I'll watch the whole thing. This show is like doing that, except you're watching the concert with Eddie Vedder. Like, you go back and watch the classic games with the players who played them. So this is the funniest episode by far, because let's talk about it. Everybody remembers Bart Scott, Can't Wait, all that. What I had forgotten about was that this game, so the Jets had just beaten Peyton Manning and the Colts on the road in the playoffs with Sanchez, Rex Ryan. Next game, they go to Foxborough. The broadcast starts on CBS. Jim Nantz, hello, friends, all that. The first talking point with him and Sims is that Wes Welker has been sat down by Bill Belichick for talking about Rex Ryan's foot fetish video, and he is not going to play the beginning of this game. So that's the first thing. And then you can imagine on the show, so we got Method Man. All right, now I grew up with Method Man. We all love his music. This show is in conjunction with NFL Films, the esteemed institution who holds the keys to all the NFL films. So they're like, treat the content with respect, please. Method Man, what do you remember about Jets Patriots? Man, F the Patriots. Like 5 times out of the gates. And he's going off about, listen, we got to respect the Patriots and Mr. Belichick and Mr. Kraft. And he's like, this is not going to be in the episode. He's like, the funny thing is now we're talking about Rex having the foot fetish, but what we know now with these two coaches, Rex wasn't even the biggest freak in this game. And he's like, well, you're kind of right. It has aged crazy with Belichick. So there's so many things before the football even starts, and it's Sean Green out of Iowa, and it's Sanchez making throws, and Braylon Edwards I'll put it this way. I call it Wednesday Night Football. It's on every Wednesday. If Jets fans who already 5 seconds into the season are looking for the good old days, and we know they are, Sal, this is the place to watch because it is the good old days.
Yeah, it makes me excited to watch it. How many episodes have aired so far?
This will be the 3rd episode, and we have 6-episode run. All classic games.
Just what were the first 2 games? Give me the first 2.
First 2 games was a 1995 NFC title game, which was Favre versus Aikman. Irvin, Emmett, Favre, amazing showdown in like mid-90s before Jerry World, like Texas Stadium. Mike Holmgren, the Packers head coach, rode a motorcycle to the game next to the team bus on the road. Like, this is the stuff we relive.
Did you pick these games or you got help?
They kind of picked them, and I collaborated with them. Like, we should do this and we should do that one. And then we just did more recent one. Chiefs-Niners won in the Super Bowl. This is 2020. The Jimmy Garoppolo versus Patrick Mahomes, the first Mahomes Super Bowl, the Super Bowl, and as it turns out, the Super Spreader event because it was like 2 weeks before COVID.
Yes, I was on a cruise ship watching that.
Is that
game.
true?
I watched the Super Bowl.
You were on a cruise, Sal?
A Disney cruise. This was before my wife and I.
Yes.
Yeah, it was like the first time ever that I wasn't watching the Super Bowl at home with like somewhat of a party. Disney cruise ship. I remember it like it was yesterday. Huge screen watching Mahomes and the Niners, and I had a huge bet. My little niece had no idea. Uncle Sal's betting like $800 that I didn't have on the Chiefs to win that game, holding on for dear life. And yes, it was like weeks before COVID. I'm on a Disney cruise ship.
First of all, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Give me your review of the Disney cruise because this hits home for me.
You have to do it. You've never done a Disney cruise yet?
Okay. We are Disney nerds. My wife, who is here in the studio outside, we go to Disney at least once a year. We're all over it. I want to do the cruise.
You have to
I did it in the 80s as a kid. I went and booked the cruise, and literally you get an email, Sal, when you book it that says, bippity boppity booked. And Disney like, oh, Disney, you bastards, you're so creative, you're so funny. And then it was bippity boppity unbooked because my wife, God bless her, I love you, honey, was not feeling a cruise. She's like, let's go to the park. So we haven't done it, but you're saying we should.
We did 2 days. Now I'm not a Disney aficionado, whatever.
Okay, I kind of am, but not the cruise.
Yeah, I get more into it. Now we have a 4-year-old. Then it was just my wife and I joining the family, whatever, niece and nephew young. 2 days in the park, perfect. Get on the cruise. What could this be? It was... I liked it as an adult without a kid, and now thinking about it with a kid. Like now, again, this was pre-COVID, so don't hold me to it. But it was as nice a cruise ship as you possibly have.
It's communal living, though, right? A lot of like shoulder to shoulder at the salad bar.
Well, I mean, that's a. You
like
have
that,
you ever
Sal?
been? No, I don't.
I
don't like that. I'm just telling you. The cruise is Hoff. Have you been? You're a Disney.
Well, no, I haven't done a cruise yet. My wife wants to do one, but she's a Disney snob. She's all about it.
Same.
Kyle, I got to be honest with you. Question.
Yeah.
Do you really like Disney? Or your wife's not here right now.
Where did she go? She must have left when Sal asked me the 4th real world question.
Are you sure you were dating one of these girls?
No, I love Disney World. I love going to it.
Why?
We go with our kids. Like
I understand that. I do too. I want to strangle myself after day one.
I like the rides. I really do. I like thrill rides. And listen, I'm not gonna front. Like I can feel the magic. I do. I like the Imagineers. They come up with creative things. I like the atmospheres. Listen, you telling me that you've never done the Epcot walk of the countries and just get hammered? That's awesome.
Oh, that's the best part of it. We can't do that every day. I'd like to.
I've never done that.
I know. It's fun.
So I don't know. I don't know how great cruises are now, and maybe they're not for everybody. I'm just saying that I had a great time on that cruise, and I remember watching that Super Bowl on that cruise. So that's another.
So that's a whole episode. And by the way, there should be an episode of you on that cruise because I have more questions, but I know we have things to get to. It's like not only being on a cruise, the ultimate in communal living with other people is watching the Super Bowl. How many years ago was this?
This whatever that Super Bowl was.
All right, so it's 5 years ago.
2020.
All right, so Sal, at that point, people know who you are. They're learning. Yes, there's got to be New Yorkers on that cruise. You're watching it, and they're asking you, "Hey, Sal, what do you think of the game?" And they don't care what you think of the game. They want to tell you what they think of the game. That sounds like hell.
Well, that happens now. It didn't happen
all the time. Oh my God!
I tell my wife all the time. We get, "Hey, family party where this person's coming over. He's a big sports fan." I'm like. The last thing I wanted, like you realize what my job is, right? We talk sports 4 hours a day with BT. Like I don't want to go talk with some, civilian.
You got to do, Sal. You got to just take the lightsaber and deflect the laser blast, and never mind what you think. Just ask them what they think, and then 20 minutes later, they'll still be telling you.
And that's it. Yeah.
And then they're all they want to hear from you is what they think, and then you're off the hook.
It used to start as the complaint box for like, oh, you work at the Fan? Tell Francesa, blah, blah, tell Boomer,
that's
blah,
fun.
blah, blah, blah,
That's
blah.
fun.
I'm sure you get that all the time. You've been on doing Good Morning Football how many years now?
This is my 10th season. I remember the first season we did was the 28-3 Super Bowl Patriots Falcons.
Oh, you know,
so I mean that's nuts.
I grew up a Falcon fan, by the way. So
you did?
Yeah,
that was a fun day.
So I was going to ask you, yeah, exactly. Well, I don't relive that game, please, with these Vice episodes. The '98 NFC Championship game, that would be one. That was a tremendous
Minnesota
game.
versus Atlanta, the missed field goal.
Yeah.
That's, I think it's funny to hear Falcons fans talk about that game because you guys are so disrespected and everyone gets so mad that Atlanta won. Not just Minnesota.
14-2 that year.
It was one of the greatest teams in the last 30 years, and we didn't get to see them in the Super Bowl against the Denver Broncos with Elway, and they would have given them a real game. The Falcons was one of the worst Super Bowls I've ever watched.
Yeah, now I was a fan even before that year. I used to love Deion growing up. Like the era of starter jackets and jerseys.
The too legit to quit Falcons who went into the Superdome in New Orleans and won. I love that team. Chris Miller, the quarterback. Jerry Glanville.
Jerry Glanville was my first favorite head coach, and then June Jones after that, whatever it may be. What the hell was I just going to ask? Oh, did you watch that Cowboy special on Netflix, the Jerry Jones thing? Yeah. So I'm fresh off of that, which makes me get antsy for your show here on Vice.
It's perfect.
I love. Now, sports is tough to go back and relive because there's so much that's happened since then. But I think the way you're doing it, coming up with who doesn't want to watch Bart Scott give his take on the Bart Scott can't wait game?
I know. It's so fun, and it's like we don't just watch the highlights. It's not like a 5-minute segment that you would see on a morning show. It's an hour show. We watch the whole game. And the stuff that the recall that these guys have and the sideline stories and the background is so fun. It was one of these jobs, Sal, where I'm just like, yeah, of course I'll do it. They came to me with it. I didn't conceive this show. And I'm like, I'd love to do this. It's the most fun I've ever had. It's awesome.
Do you feel like because I feel like you're doing a lot. Do you feel like, you know what I'm saying? And I get it. The media business is what it is, but God, how do you find, it's an hour show. Okay, well, now you got to tape this. How many episodes you have to do that? Getting up at, 6 a.m., whatever it may be to get in to go do Good Morning Football, doing all the social media stuff. I saw you hanging out with Cam Scatterbo, handing him the Angry Run scepter. You're all over the freaking place.
You know what it is? It's a fear of saying no, and it's a fear if you say no to one thing, then they'll stop asking. When you're someone like me who didn't play in the league, I'm not an insider. I don't have sources. I'm not a conventional journalist. I have none of that. I somehow found a way to have people want to give me jobs. And it's like, if I say no to just one fledgling podcast from some college kid, they'll never ask again. So my wife uses the word overcommitted. But it's like at some point they're going to stop asking, and I just want to say yes as many times as I can.
When you were producing for Jim Rome, highly successful
9
show,
years.
Did you always, because I'll be honest with you, sometimes I'd be like, producing Brian Chris, I'm like, I want to do that. Mm-hmm. I want to be where they are. Mm-hmm. And sometimes, not in their case, but other hosts that are producing, I'm like, come on, I should be in that seat. Did you always feel that and know that you wanted to be behind the mic instead of producing?
There's a funny story that Bomani Jones tells about this. I don't know if you know Bomani personally. I do. I have a lot of respect for him. When I was not auditioning, the word is interviewing, to be Jim Rome's exec producer. Bomani was too at the same time. A guy who's going to be very successful. And Bomani's take on it is the reason I got the job was that Bomani let Jim know that he wants to get into hosting, and I didn't. And he thinks that's why I got the job. And I say to Bomani, I had just come off 3.5 years on Days of Our Lives. You think I wasn't interested in being on camera? I didn't exactly have to hide my hand there. So I said to Jim, I said, look, I want to come in. I want to work with you. I want to come up with thoughts and takes for you. And I want to build something together. I want to contribute. And I went from being shirtless on NBC and Days of Our Lives to sitting there screening text messages sent to the show. Not even calls. Calls to me would have been an upgrade. You used to be able to text the show, which in 2008 was revolutionary, that you could text and they would read your text. It took me a year to even get to screening emails. It was nuts. So it was going from a total vanity job and being on a soap opera to just basically being in the mailroom of production, and it's the best thing I've ever done.
Okay, now there's a lot there.
For me.
You can't just drop in, I was hanging out doing a soap opera and acting, and then you get to Rome.
It's a weird life.
Before we get to that, you still talk to Rome?
Yeah. We
You know,
left.
sometimes those host relationships could be
100%. I see it right now. I could name big radio shows right now where people have left and they never speak again.
Yeah.
I'm not part of one of them. Jim, I owe so much to, have so much respect to. Jim has his critics. I don't care about any of them. I worked for 9 years with him. I had my last show. We walked off. We got a giant martini in the bar in the lobby and like hugged it out. And like, I will always love him. And I think he will always love me.
Did you feel weird hugging him? Because he looks to be fragile and you're a big muscular guy. You could have maybe broken him, no?
No, I didn't know.
He's small and frail.
Jim can give it back. That's Ben Smack. That's the pimp in the box. Like he's like 170 pounds of twisted steel. Like he gave it right back.
Did you grow up? Well, you grew up in Chicago. Was there a big sports star? Who? Mike North was a big guy there.
No, Mike North still. Yeah, Mike North's everywhere. Listen, when I grew up, Mike North was really successful, and like it was just I was reared on the '90s Bulls, man. Like I won the sports fan Powerball. I got to live in the same suburbs where the Bulls practice, and like I would drive to school. I remember it vividly. And my friends and I were getting carpooled to school, and we pull up at this red light, and the mom goes, "Hey guys, look in front of us. Black Lamborghini, license plate Air 23, and we're losing our minds." We pull up next to it. We're knocking. He rolls down the window, waves us, Michael. Green light goes, boom. He's out of there. We would see Michael Jordan in his Ferrari driving to school. So I have wonderful memories growing up in Chicago. Not a ton of them, the Bears being great, but the Bulls were my deal for sure.
Dude, I hated Michael Jordan and the Chicago Bulls.
Okay, let's talk about it.
I'm a Knicks fan.
I know.
Did you hate the Knicks too, or you didn't really care because you always got the best of them?
I would laugh at the Knicks. I still laugh at the Knicks. I was laughing at the Knicks this last year in the playoffs where it's like Knicks Pacers. It's like, how sweet. It's MJ's two children fighting over each other. I was sitting here being like, screw you guys. You know what I went to, Sal? I went to I took my kids to the PBR in the Garden. There's professional bull riding.
Those are fun.
Yeah, and I'm like, I'm used to bulls coming in here and kicking everybody's ass. This is what the Madison Square Garden was built on.
The Bulls haven't been good in how many years?
Yeah, I don't know. They've been terrible. Awful.
So I'm assuming like you had your fun, you had your championships, all those years where you battled really. Now it's just like, don't even care.
And I don't live there anymore. So like when I would think about how much you care about sports when you're like 15 years old. Like it's so important to you and you're so pure. And you're not like you and me. We're not jaded. Like you just love the games. And I could go to Chicago Stadium or United Center and just watch Michael and Scotty and now, like, and then, you know, Patrick Ewing would be there. He'd get dunked on 16 times. Sal, you know it's true. And it was just like,
maybe once.
I remember vividly when Jordan first retired and Ewing had this thing where he's like, no, you can't retire. I have to beat you. You have to stay. It's like, sorry, too bad. I can go play some baseball. So I had great.
And then they did beat him. Yeah, I call it the GAF meter, the give a bleep meter. Yeah. At 15, it's
off the charts.
Yeah, and now at 46, it's a lot less than it was. Although there's still, you know, obviously great sports and great passion.
Yeah, but it's different, dude.
I mean, there are things that happen in life, you know, kids, wife, whatever it may be, real stuff happening. You don't have to get somber about it, but when you know, my father passed away, like when you deal with the loss of a parent. Yeah. It's a little bit easier to deal with the loss of a Super Bowl, even if it is 28-3. In fact, although I'm still not over that one, and I hate Dan Quinn to this day. All right, well, we'll take a quick break. Come back, much more with Kyle Brandt. We also got a Giant special coming up as well on Vice that he sat down with Doggy to do.
Yeah, and Phil Simms, the Phil Simms game. We did it.
I mean, that is tremendous. So we'll get more into that and current NFL. Justin Fields has been ruled out for Week 3. We'll go around the league a little bit with Kyle Brandt in studio, BT and Sal. Well, how was that sitting down with Doggy and Phil Simms?
It's incredible. I've met Phil before. I had never met Mad Dog before, ever. Meeting anybody over Zoom is weird. Meeting Mad Dog over Zoom is like this tornado you get pulled into because it's so much energy, so much volume. And I had an icebreaker ready. I was like, all right, Mad Dog, here we go. We're starting the show. Let me know. People want to know, are you popping a gummy before we start going? And he's like, oh, let me tell you, I don't have a gummy today. Like, he just go. And he has this, and then he turns around, has this incredible insight, this fascinating story about how the Phil Simms game in so many ways launched him and launched everything he has ever done with Mike in this building because the 86 Mets were happening at the time and the Giants were happening and New York was having a moment. And he tells it much better than I am in the episode, but he's like, really, truly, this game is the reason I've been able to do and build what I've been able to build. It was awesome. And
unfortunately, Kyle, Jets and Giants, maybe fortunately for you, because if we want to enjoy ourselves here, we got to watch the old days, the current days.
It's only Week 3. We're already going back to the old days.
Yeah, that's the problem. problem every year with these two teams. You can't even get to Halloween and have meaningful games. Let's start with the Jets, only because Justin Fields, today it came down. Aaron Glenn said he's going to be ruled out for week 3 with a concussion. What do you think of Aaron Glenn, and where are you at with just assessing the Jets year 1 here, new regime with Muji and Aaron Glenn?
Well, I have a BA in Justin Fields as a Bears guy, and I've sat with him before in Chicago and I've watched him. And when the Jets brought him in, I said, God, this is interesting. And when you bring him in, you start to say, well, really good athlete, was winning games last year in Pittsburgh, like totally the anti-Rodgers, which is all true. This is all positive. But my BA has told me that in all the positives he has and all the apologists that may exist for Justin Fields, he almost never wins. Like his record as a starter is really horrible. Now, there's a lot of factors I understand, but he just doesn't win games. And so it's like week 1 was the perfect example. Comes out, puts on a show. He's really athletic. He's throwing, and just the Jets lose. For whatever reason, the teams that he leads lose. So now he's out with the concussion, and you're just, Christ, like that already? It's frustrating. And so I'm not a massive Justin Fields fan as a player. I think he's a good guy. I think he almost got killed on the field a couple times for the Bears. And what he will never do, Sal, he will never throw a mouth guard. He'll never call out a lineman. He is a really good guy. It just doesn't usually amount to wins.
Yeah, I like the temperament. I like the move with where the Jets are at. Unfortunately, I was saying this before the season, he just can't throw the football well enough to win. And then he goes out there and has that week 1 performance, which is encouraging. And maybe you want to think, oh, can he be a different quarterback? And then you watch week 2 and he's not. And now, unfortunately, not going to get to see him in week 3. I wanted Pete Carroll because I thought that they needed experience. A known commodity. Stop messing around. I was almost using a curse word there. Stop messing around with inexperience here. Now, I happen to love Aaron Glenn, but still, it's a tough task. You're going against the history of the franchise, the media, being a rookie. What'd you think of the hiring of Aaron Glenn and belief in him maybe being the guy to get this thing turned around?
I see your point, Pete Carroll, and the Raiders did the same thing. They're like, we just tried an ex-player, and he was really cool, but didn't really work. So just get an adult in the room. Just bring someone who is an adult and can have a decent product on the field. And the Raiders, I know they lost this week, but it's going to be a decent product. I'll tell you what I don't care about in coaching hires. I could not give a damn that you used to play for that organization.
Right.
It means nothing to me. You look at so many of the great coaches, they have no connection to the organization. They just wound up there. And if it's like, did you take him because of some nostalgia itch that he used to play for the Jets that have anything to do with it? Because it shouldn't. I like the hire, I guess. I mean, you go defense twice in a row after Saleh. You go with the guy, again, with Saleh, who's never been a head coach. It seemed a little bit repeating itself. But I'll tell you, I did have respect for the way that Aaron Glenn handled Rodgers. And to hear Rodgers retell the story of, I flew there on my own dime, I sat down, and I said to Aaron Glenn, you don't know me. And you know what Aaron Glenn said back? Well, you don't know me. And then he cut Aaron Rodgers, who's never been cut in his life and never will be again. I thought that was kind of a cool, badass draw a line in the sand move. Now, maybe his quarterback's not good and Rodgers would have been better, but it's over.
Are you a Rodgers fan?
A huge fan.
Yeah, me too. I like you. Have you met him before?
Yeah, many times. He and I have had a relationship through the media, but I think he's the best interview in sports, maybe all of sports. And listen, I know people get pissed off when I say this. He's the best quarterback I've ever seen. And now he's not the greatest, and it's not Brady. And I've never seen someone down to down play the game better than he has during his MVP seasons. It's just a complete master. I love watching him play.
Mobility, the ability to flick the ball down the field effortlessly. I would say the same thing. The way I would always put it is into categories. Brady is the greatest winner that I've ever seen. Peyton was like the best pure quarterback, reading a defense, dropping in the end. Oh, here's the read. And Rodgers was just a combination. Now, this is pre-Mahomes in my mind. Rodgers was the best combination that I've seen, period. You could throw Mahomes in that conversation. Where would you put Mahomes? Even with you still say Rodgers at his peak better than what we've seen from Mahomes?
The early Mahomes, like the Tyreek era Mahomes, was unbelievable. That was so fun to watch, and it feels like it was 50 years ago watching the Chiefs now where everything they do is impossible. So, I mean, Mahomes is like you put a pin in it. He's so young, and we've never seen this talent. I'll tell you a story about Mahomes. We were on Good Morning Football, and I remember that draft class came out, and all of them came through as guests. All of the quarterback prospects in that draft class. So I think it's like Mitch Trubisky, Deshaun Kaiser from Notre Dame. Deshaun Kaiser came through, and all of us in the show were like, well, he's going to be a Hall of Famer. He's going to be president of the United States. Huge dude from Notre Dame, strong, handsome, big handshake. Mahomes comes in. He's got that voice. His mom was with him. There were some things that were like, this guy seems a little off. He left the table and we're like, I don't know about that guy. Texas Tech? What? And then like 20 seconds later, he was just eviscerating everybody he played and throwing behind the back passes. So we were way off. And, Mahomes is the man. He's just scraping right now.
Would you ever do ayahuasca with Aaron Rodgers?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, listen, if I was invited, I'm at that point now, Sal, where I'm like, I'm in my mid-40s. I'm looking for stuff to fire us up.
Get me out of the house.
I'm living in the cul-de-sac. I go out in the corner and some dad with his IPA and his banking vest and, his Yeti cooler. And he said, wow, oh, really? You're going to Florida with your kids? I went to Florida. And it's like, I could use a little life right now. So if the offer was on the table, sure.
All right. How about the Giants? I saw that you were over there handing Scattaboo that angry run scepter.
Yeah.
By the way, you got to be making good bank on those T-shirts. No,
God, from your lips to God's ears, please.
Right?
Everybody buy a damn shirt. I hate that I'm peddling T-shirts, guy, but they are pretty cool.
I mean, how many jobs do you need? And then you need the T-shirts on top of it. But no, they are cool. So you went out there and saw Scattaboo, gave him the angry scepter. Where are you at with the Giants? Russell Wilson taking over right now before Jackson Dart, trying to get Dable and maybe salvage that regime of Shane and Dable with Russ leading the way.
First, I was so excited for Scattaboo. He's just one of those guys that I put all the chips in. I'm like, he's going to be great. He's amazing. He's a folk hero. He's like he was on your high school team in your locker room and listen to Pantera in the weight room. This is a great guy. And on his first touch in the NFL, he ran over like 3 different guys. I was so happy. So we give the angry run scepter to whoever has the angriest run of the week. Go to the Giants facility. I got invited by the Giants. Incredibly cordial, incredibly hospitable people. I give the scepter to Scattaboo, who's amazing. I'm like, this is so cool you did this. And he's like, yeah, I'm going to do another one next week. Like, he was a little cocky. Scattaboo's got that in him.
I saw the video, yeah.
Yeah, like he believes in himself. And then I get a tap on the shoulder in the middle of all of it, and I'm surrounded by all these Giants employees and photographers and just really nice people, and I get a tap on the shoulder, and I turn around, and there's Russ, and he's going to the weight room. He's like, hey, man, how you doing? Like, big handshake, big hug, all that. Oh, what you got there? I'm like, oh, this is a scepter, and I don't think he knows what it was, but and it's fine. I was just surprised, and honestly, I was impressed because in many different points, have been a very, very, very vocal critic of Russell Wilson, and it's spilled out onto social media. And I have never met him before, but it's my job to talk about the players, and I've done so critically of Russell Wilson. And so either he was like messing with me and killing me with kindness, which I also kind of like, or he was just blissfully ignorant and was just saying welcome. Either way, I respected how he handled it.
Now, why have you been a critic of his? Just dating back to Seattle or just Denver and Pittsburgh?
Denver. And honestly, like, Russell Wilson just played pretty much an incredible game. And, like, I don't want to gratuitously dig up the past. Like, there was times in Denver where I had issues with what I thought was his awareness of his public image and his bolstering of it on purpose. And I thought there were teammates maybe didn't respect that. But that's redundant, and that's years ago. And listen, he's 2 teams later now, and I'm sure you were watching that game too, like, oh my God, Russell Wilson, this is amazing.
I've always thought, like the Denver stuff is a huge story. Denver thought they were going to change everything and make a big trade. It was a disaster there, every which possible way. But what he did in Seattle, I would always think that was, I know he won a Super Bowl, so how underappreciated could you be? Yeah. I thought that there were times watching him, even in the playoff years, dude, he was as good a deep thrower as I've ever seen. Obviously, you saw that come to fruition with the Giants to a ridiculous extent on Sunday, but I always thought he was underappreciated. Maybe the lack of awareness, a little bit, like he's corny. I mean, I could say it. I'm probably not going to go in their locker room. He's not going to say anything to me, but he was a little corny at times. Hey, look, if it leads to wins, who cares? What would you do if you're the Giants with Jackson Dart? I don't know if you've met him.
I haven't.
Everybody wants Jackson Dart. It's not about Russell Wilson. It's just about getting to the future, the exciting potential future with Dart. What do you think of Jackson Dart?
I just think I can't believe the restraint from Dable. It's so easy to break glass in case of emergency. Here's another funny story. Over the summer, my wife and I go to Citi Field because we're going to see Post Malone and Jelly Roll. We go to the concert. It's just fun, like a parents' night out, just 2 of us, no kids, no friends, anything. We go to Citi Field. We walk through the turnstiles. Within 5 seconds of passing the turnstiles, I physically bump into Brian Dable, who is there with his whole family, and they're having so much fun. He's like, I love jelly. And then so we start talking, and like, I truly, truly love Dable. And for all the Giants fans or critics listening, think what you want of him as a coach. God, he is a rock solid guy. The second you're in the room with him, he makes you feel comfortable. He's awesome. And I'd had a few drinks. I don't know if he had, but like we were feeling it. And my takeaway from it was Dable. We talked a little football. He was so excited about Jackson Dart. Like, just so excited. Like he was saying, Jackson, this and this and this. And I was like, all right, great. I know you loved him. You drafted him. So to that point, the fact that he didn't say, all right, 1 week, get out of here. He just pull the ripcord on Russ. And he made the right choice. And it was the right coaching choice. And now it's like, okay, I thought Russ was playing for his job in week 2. I thought everything was on the table, including like a halftime benching, everything. Just I didn't think they were going to go another game of that level of play. And then he just starts lighting it up. And I got to say, as far as the Giants right now, we were talking about this on Good Morning Football. You know, we do these wacky segments where we have whiteboards, and it's like one word to describe the Giants-Chiefs matchup. And my word was just opportunity. I know there's so much doom and gloom with the Giants, and they're 0-2, but they have not only been bad the last few years. You know this. They're so miserable at home. And when you get those Giants fans to buy the tickets and get in the car and bring their kids and go to the stadium, and they just get their clock cleaned at home, that really, really leaves scars. They have an opportunity at home on national TV to send the Chiefs to 0-3. And honestly, Sally, I think they're capable. I think they could win that game based a lot of what I've seen from the Chiefs and what I saw from the Giants offense last. You telling me Neighbors couldn't go nuts again against the Chiefs? I really think they can win that game. And like, what a win. At home, national TV. We finally did something worth clapping about for our home fans. And for the first time in history, Patrick Mahomes is 0-3. My word's opportunity. I tend to look positive.
You really think? Because I felt that way a little bit yesterday. I went back and watched some more of the highlights of the key plays in the Eagles-Chiefs game. I know the Chiefs are 0-2.
What'd you see?
I don't think they're dead by any stretch of the imagination.
Oh, no, I don't either.
But I think a lot of people, dude, if they go 0-3 and losing to the Giants, like losing to the Chargers, losing to the Eagles, happens. Chargers are very good. Eagles Super Bowl champions, even if it's at home and it was a tight game. I don't think Dallas is that good. I don't know if that's sustainable with the Giants. No, I do know it's not sustainable what the Giants did on Sunday offensively. And it feels like we had Baldy on yesterday, who I respect his opinion. You're an NFL guy. I respect your opinion on it as well. It feels like a lot of people are saying, it's a winnable game for the Giants. And I'm just thinking, dude, this may be, we're walking into a potential disaster with the Chiefs having their awakening. You really think the Chiefs are going to walk out of MetLife Stadium 0-3?
It'd be crazy. It's crazy that they're 0-2. I don't care who they play. The Chiefs aren't supposed to go 0-2. And everyone's like, what's wrong with the Chiefs? You watch them on offense. Everything just looks so difficult. Like Mahomes has to ad-lib and Sandlot to do anything. And look, you can get into the minutia of it. They lost their top two receivers. They don't have a 1. They don't have a 2. They have the least talented backfield probably in the NFL. They have like a 30-something podcaster at tight end who is all heart, but like, he's in his 13th season.
30-something podcast.
Gronk didn't even get to his 13th season. Look up Shannon Sharp's numbers in his 13th season. It was career lows. Like, Kelsey is just a little piece. So I will still say, though, I don't care if the Chiefs start 0-7. I still won't give up. I still think they're going to be 10-7.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Either way, we're looking forward to the show tonight.
Thanks, man. 9 o'clock tonight.
Pleasure to meet you in person.
You're the best, Sal.
I got to look up that real world history and get refreshed on that. Appreciate you coming in. Make sure you check it out tonight on Vice. NFL Classic. After further review, you got Kyle hanging out with Bart Scott and Method Man watching the can't wait game where the Jets beat the Patriots in a postseason game. And then October 8th, you got Phil Simms, Chris Russo join Kyle to revisit the Giants Super Bowl 21 win over John Elway and the Broncos. That is